I'm John Millward. So at last it's official. The NHS is virtually bankrupt. Not a surprise because most of us have known this for a long time. But what an extraordinary time to publish a report that's suggesting a massive cut in the NHS workforce. I can't imagine why. I mean, surely the consultants realise that this is unacceptable to all political parties, not just one. Who on earth commissioned this report if they didn't exclude job cuts? One can only assume that this is somewhere softening the public up to having a lesser number of redundancies on the grounds that it's much better than what was proposed in the first place. But really is somewhat of a nonsense. I know people are aware, but hospital trusts and a lot of other local authorities always had to make so-called efficiency savings of perhaps 1, 2, 3 or sometimes 4% every year. Well, you can't go on doing that year in and year out without running into trouble. So what would these job cuts mean? Well, if you look around, the accusation of accidents in the health service is due to pressure, overwork, no time, cutting corners, certainly the drug mistakes. Many of the NHS have all been put down to this, including the hospital infection. Again, pressure on beds and cleaning and all the other things that go wrong. So what would it mean if we introduced this, apart from the fact that it would be catastrophic for the staff involved? Well, we've come to depend very much on the target culture, and a lot of the administration is down to this: how many people are seen in time, what operations are done, even the income is calculated on a one-off basis. So therefore you'd have to get rid of some of those people. You'd have to abandon targets, you'd have to abandon waiting lists, and you'd have to go back to the old days of long time wait. Again, I think the public would find this unacceptable. So where else can we go? Well, in these occasions it's always been argued that the administrators are to blame. We've got too many administrators. That's probably true to a certain extent, but that goes with the target and all the other cultures that a lot of civil servants in London over-checking what's happening elsewhere. Well, another often trumpeted excuse is a management reorganisation. Well, we need those like a hole in the head. We've had too many already. Moving people around, placing people in jobs that perhaps they've never done before, with responsibilities and big budgets. We've had people made redundant, been given lump sums and pensions, and then come back into the health service and they're having even more money. So that's not an option, I don't think, not at this stage. You've got to settle down for what you've got and get the people that are in those jobs really know what they're doing and actually get on with the job. So quite often the doctors will say, yes, there are too many, but spend the money on us. Well, if you look at the way that the health service has developed, we've become a consultant bonanza, if that's the right word. Over my period of time, perhaps one consultant has been replaced by 12. You keep on with your subspecialties, and every time you create a subspecialty, you've got to appoint 2 consultants, not 1, because there's always got to be cover. More staff, more secretaries, and all the other things that go with it. Less knowledge, because people confine their specialities to more and more minute areas of medicine. So that's very much what's happened and what is happening. But even in these crisis times, you'll get doctors saying, consultants, senior consultants saying, yeah, we must cut back, we must cut down the management and everything else, but my speciality must be preserved. I need more investment to have a better effect, more success, more money, more success. Well, that's plainly failed, because we've been doing this now for the last 15, 20 years or more, and all we've got for it is bigger bills and more failure, more illness than ever before, more infections than ever before, people trying to go to hospital. So that's another failure that's happened. The concept that doctors and nurses can actually run the health service in today's world is an absolute nonsense. They may like the subspecialities, they might like to spend their time in something they like doing rather than treating patients, like employing themselves in research or running other things, but plainly no doctor is trained to run a big organisation. So that's out too. So where do we go? They obviously can't go on spending at this rate. We can't sustain it, and the system is plainly not working. So I'm afraid we have to look back to the real cause of the problem, and that's medicine itself, as practised. I've pointed out already the trend towards subspecialisation, increased consultants, and employing themselves in different things rather than actually treating patients. Well, the real tragedy is, as I've been pointing out, medicine is wrong. It's been building up since the 60s, when we had drugs that were going to cure everything and put us all out of business. And we're still going down the same route, despite the fact that failure after failure after failure. Well, if you want to know more, then there'll be some more videos following. The next one is called the scam of prevention, or the prevention scam. I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future. Thank you very much for listening so far.